Greetings Samurai! At the UK Games Expo this year, Asmodee was showing off a prototype of their Legend of the Five Rings board game. After 4 playthroughs and a read-through of the rulebook, this video has 10 things we think you should know. Apart from the stunning board with its amazing gold foiling, everything else was just prototype components, as you can see by the stickers on the die here. So although it looks good, many elements will be either a little or a lot different from the photos we are showing you. It is a 2 to 4 player Euro game claiming a play time of 60 to 90 minutes, set in the long established Eastern inspired Legend of the Five Rings setting. You take the role of a merchant from one of 4 clans, sailing your ships down the bustling river of gold, collecting goods to fulfill customer orders and building properties along the way. This has a street date of August 2nd, 2024, and the rules are already available for download. A Learn to Play video is also expected on July 23rd, along with reviews from all your regular content creators. There should also be a series of developer diaries appearing weekly throughout July, and possibly an official unboxing at Gen Con. It is planned to be available for purchase at Gen Con this year and from US retailers that same week. International customers, check your local distributors. We are also expecting some kind of Board Game Geek tie-in in July and a separate social media giveaway in August. You can also play it digitally on Board Game Arena. This game is published by Office Dog Studios, which is an Asmodee company specifically designed to work with external game designers to bring their games to market. The head of the company is Luke Peterschmidt, who managed the Legend of the Five Rings brand when it was owned by Wizards of the Coast back in the 2000s. We spoke to Luke at UK Games Expo, and he said as the brand had been having a rest for a while, it was important for the first new product to have as broad appeal as possible and to act as a gateway to the setting. There are other games in the works that focus on a more traditional samurai perspective, not all of which have been announced yet. Each turn you roll a 6-sided die and pick one of 3 options. You can build a building in whichever of the 6 regions of the river the die corresponds to. You get a choice of 4 current buildings that refill as these are taken. The different types dictate the rewards given when player ships are adjacent to those buildings. You also get some influence in the region you just built in, moving your marker along a mini track for that region, granting you rewards as you progress. Secondly, you can move one of your 2 ships that many places down the river. The space that you land in will have 4 building slots adjacent to it that you collect rewards from. Either money, 3 kinds of trade goods, endgame victory points, or influence in one of the 6 regions. The player that owns that building also gets a separate reward when someone lands there, and if you land next to your own building, you receive both rewards. Finally, you get to deliver goods to a customer that matches the die roll. Each requires a combination of the 3 trade goods, and when you turn them in, you can receive an immediate reward, plus an ongoing reward, and usually an endgame scoring bonus too, depending on the customer. You will have 2 of these customer cards at once, and when you complete one, you get a choice from 2 other random cards to replace them. It is a roll and move game, and when you sail off the end of the board, you collect money and appear back at the top. However, every player has a resource called Divine Favor, which is measured on the little track to the right of your player board. At the start of your turn, you can spend this resource to increase or decrease the value shown on the die by that much. And if you rolled a 1, then you can spend 1 point to change it to a 6. Likewise, if you rolled a 6, you could spend 2 points to change it to a 1 and then a 2. You regain this divine favor as rewards from buildings and the regional influence tracks, as well as increasing your maximum limit, which starts off capped at 3 when the game begins. At any time you may spend 5 of your Koku coins to gain 1 divine favor or swap 2 of one trade good for another, so there are ways to mitigate the randomness. You also roll the die at the end of your turn, giving you ample thinking time before you act on the result next turn. For those familiar with the setting of Rokugan and want to play their favourite clan, only 4 appear in this game. The Crab, Crane and Scorpion have been chosen as the river passes through their lands, and the Mantis are known for their mercantile pursuits. In the base game there is no difference other than a little bit of flavour text on the back of the player board. Although each of them has a unique ship design which will hopefully help players tell them apart. There is a mini expansion included in the game that has 2 unique patron cards per clan, one of which you can use to give your faction an asymmetric power and maybe slightly more of an identity. The ones we have seen so far seem very powerful and make strong changes to the way you interact with the basic rules of the game. As we understand it, this game has 30 customer cards, 4 double-sided player cards and 8 patron cards, making a total of 42 standard size cards, so it should be cheap and easy to sleeve. The game is currently available for pre-order on the Asmodee North America website and maybe at your local friendly game store too. Let us know if you would like to see any more videos on this game in the future.